Hello everyone, welcome to PRATHAM Test Prep YouTube channel. I'm Ashish Bhargav and welcome to each and everyone here for daily news analysis that we do from Monday to Friday at sharp 11:30 a.m. So in this newspaper analysis, we discuss about all the important news from all major newspaper covered in this session. So hello everyone, I'm Ashish Bhargav and I welcome each and everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. आप सारे अच्छे होंगे, स्वस्थ होंगे and ईश्वर से यही कामना करता हूँ कि आप सारे अच्छे होंगे. So इस न्यूज़पेपर एनालिसिस क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है आपके लिए? एज वी नो इज द मेजर रीजन बिकॉज मोस्ट ऑफ द करंट अफेयर्स क्वेश्चन दे आर एक्सट्रैक्टेड फ्रॉम द मेजर न्यूज़पेपर विच इज द हिंदू, इंडियन एक्सप्रेस, बिजनेस स्टैंडर्ड, PIB. And in this newspaper analysis we discuss about all the important events and news, basically for the economy based news, international based news, national news, miscellaneous summits and conference, person and news, science and tech. So basically why it is very important to watch the newspaper analysis session, because the reason, as we know that in your exam the most of the questions they are framed is, we can say, based on current affairs, and current affairs playing a vital role in your exam because of the reason behind most of the questions, as you can see in your exam, is based on current affairs, right? So apart from this, all these events, we discuss about Supreme Court verdict also. Supreme Court verdict, which is very, very important, especially for the law entrance exam and any state initiative. Any state initiative. So for this, you need to solve the mock also. So in our mock that you can see the many questions that we can see in current affairs that is based on state initiative also. Now, moving further, here is the quote of the day. If your voice is high, only a few people will hear. If your thought is high, then many people will listen. And to inculcate this thought process, what exactly you need to do? You have to develop the temperament to read the newspaper. Just one small positive thought in the morning can change your whole day. That is the quote of Dalai Lama. And study hard, no matter if it seems impossible, no matter if it takes time, no matter if you have to up all night, just remember that the feeling of success is the best thing in an entire world. So as we know that having if you burnt your midnight oil, so you will see the result. Because of the reason why I'm telling to you, because you're not need to face any regret. And as we know that questions of the day is taken our initiative, new initiative, that we will discuss about the few questions after this session. And here is our mentors who is taking the classes, daily newspaper analysis, that is taken by me, Monday to Friday, legal Darpan at Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 3 p.m. and current affairs Samvad, which is from 8:30 p.m. Monday and Friday. Deep dive session at 3 p.m. every Thursday, maths mudda in once in a week, logical reasoning and boost your vocabulary session. Now moving further, is very first news is nasal vaccine to cost rupees 800 in private center. So Incovac intranasal COVID-19 vaccine, Bharat Biotech intranasal vaccine BV.V15, or Incovac is the world's first intranasal vaccine to approved as a booster dose for COVID-19. What exactly is significance? In your exam, they will possible to ask about, they will ask to you the Incovac. Incovac is what is intranasal vaccine. What is the significance? So, and who prepared this one? Bharat Biotech. So this company name need to be remembered, because intranasal vaccine that to be prepared by Bharat Biotech. This is a Hyderabad based Bharat Biotech. It is, the company said that it is administered by vaccine against COVID-19 would be available in rupees 800 in private vaccine centers, not by the government. And government will provide into rupees 325. So with the vaccine being delivered through nasal spray, it will do away with the need for needles and syringes currently required to all COVID-19 vaccine available. It will also reduce dependence on personal train of given shot, as you can see in this one. Nasal vaccine, a silver bullet for COVID-19. The first of nasal vaccine targeting of SARS-CoV-2 were approved this week. A look at how they may be game changer. So World Health Organization data, there are 8 intranasal vaccine under development, and 2 of these now have been received some of the approval. Here is Convidacia Air, that is producer of Casino Biologics. And what is the platform is that ADS adenovirus based inhaled vaccine in July, and Chinese scientists published preprint study to one boost dose to the inhaled vaccine led to the more antibodies than a conventional booster shot. Incovac, that is producer of Bharat Biotech and platforms of AD35 adenovirus based intranasal vaccine. So it is developed in partnership with Precision Virologist and Washington University School of Medicine. So there are two organizations that has prepared. One, we can say a virologist in Washington University and a School of Medicine, and this dose has in the animal trials also has been shown in the confer superior protections than conventional doses. So what are the advantages that we can say? Better lung protection. Second, makes viral entry difficult, possible drop in, and we can say, and any challenges? Yes. So while these vaccines are largely safe, they are tough to get, right? Efficacy depends entirely on the bioengineering and platform involved, and current candidates employ a wide variety of approaches. So now, here is the second news: is parliamentary panel pulls up government for failure to create tourism councils. So the House committee also asked what steps are taken to the recommendation of including tourism on the concurrent list, because there is a concurrent list, which means that we can say there are three lists that is prepared by the government of India. One is state list, center list, concurrent list, and the fourth one we can say residue list also. So residue list, which means that it is only reserved for the central government. So state list, only a state can make a law. Center list, center can make a law. Concurrent, which means state, both state and center can make a law. And residue list, that we can say that only central government having reserve power to make a law in our country. And we can say merely drafting a national tourism policy is not enough for the development of the tourism sector in the country, as parliamentary committee has said. So parliamentary standing committee on transport, tourism and culture has suggested fast tracking the creation of national tourism councils in the line of GST council to directly make recommendation to the union and state government. So we have to understand what is the tourism industry is. So what is the rank of India in World Economic Forum Travel and Tourism Development Index 2020? So the World Economic Forum latest study released the Travel and Tourism Development Index, which exists as many as 117 countries. India was placed at 54th spot in overall ranking, down from 46 in 2019. So we can say who released Travel and Tourism Development Index? So we can say World Economic Forum. World Economic Forum. And second thing that we can say is the rank of India is 54th. So as we know that, what are the relative initiative for the upliftment of tourism sector is Swadesh Darshan scheme. So under it, Ministry of Tourism provides central financial assistance, CFA, to state government, union territory administration for infrastructure development of 13 identified theme-based circuit. Next, Prasad scheme that was launched by, we can say, Ministry of Tourism in the year 2014-15 with the objective of holistic development of identified pilgrimage destination. An iconic tourist site is Buddhist site at Bodh Gaya. Ajanta and Ellora have been identified to be developed as iconic tourist site aimed at enhancing India's soft power. So Prasad scheme and Swadesh Darshan scheme, that is related for the which initiative? For the, we can say, to promote the tourism industry. And Buddhist conclave also. Buddhist conclave is organized every alternate year with the objective of promoting India's at Buddhist destination and major market around the globe. Dekho Apna Desh, that is the initiative. It was launched by Ministry of Tourism in 2020 to encourage the citizens to travel widely within the country, thus enabling the development of domestic tourism, tourist facilities and infrastructure. So 5 initiatives that is taken by the government of India to promote the tourism industry. Next article is talking about green hydrogen may get $2 billion incentive. So India is planning to $2 billion incentive programs for the green hydrogen industry. So what exactly green hydrogen industry? As we know that in our country that the fuel dependency to the other countries have lacken to our forex reserve, and thus forex reserve somehow, if it is detrimental for the countries, and we can say the dollar 180 billion incentive aims to reduce the production cost of green hydrogen by a fifth over next 5 years, and the current cost in India is rupees 300 to 400 per kg. So hydrogen can be used as a fuel. It is made by splitting water with an electrical process which is known to be a electrolysis. So electrolysis, that is, if the device that do that electrolyzers are powered by renewable energy, the product is called green hydrogen, a fuel free of greenhouse gas emissions. So how the green hydrogen produce? That is, the renewable energy is created using solar and wind power. Second step, the power feeds into system known as electrolyzer, which separates water into hydrogen and oxygen. As we can see, the H2O is the water molecules is converted into the O2 and H2 with the help of electrolyzer. Electrolyzer, which means this separates the two molecules. And the next step is the hydrogen gas in the stored either as a compressed gas or liquid. And the last stage that we can see, hydrogen is shipped to a destination where it can be used as a fuel. So we have to know about the few things about hydrogen as well. So according to International Renewable Energy Agency, IRENA, hydrogen will make up 12% of energy mix by 2050. So the agency also suggested about 66% of hydrogen used must come from water instead of natural gas. So IRENA has released the World Energy Transition Outlook report. So this is very important information. They will directly ask you in a form of MCQs that World Energy Transition Outlook released by International Renewable Energy Agency. And if you talk about hydrogen, it's one of the most abundant element on earth for a cleaner alternative fuel option. And as you know that government are promoting the bioethanol also, bioethanol, and we can say biodiesel, and we can say that organic fuel system as well. So type of hydrogen depends on the process of formation. So green hydrogen is produced by electrolysis of water using renewable energy like solar and wind, and has a lower carbon footprint. Carbon footprint, which means that releasing lowest amount of CO2 in our atmosphere. Right, this is known to be a carbon footprint. As we can see that in Sustainable Development Goal, that UN had decided to reduce the carbon footprint. And one more thing you need to keep in mind, the COP27, Conference of Party 27 meeting, that entire G20 nation had decided to reduce the G20 carbon footprint, and as well as the minimum temperature should be 2 degrees centigrade. So we can say this is always need to keep in mind. Now third one is 18 states yet to receive 4,700 crore in MG Narega. So Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. This is called Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Scheme. That is the full form of MG Narega. So MG Narega, basically we can say it for the unskilled worker, unskilled but adult, and make sure that 1/3 of the person must be for the women. This has enshrined as per the Labour Act. So many states are not getting the fund from the center, and we can say there's a break in supply chain, and there are other states with similarly high dues, like we can say Uttar Pradesh 284 crore and Bihar 287, Jharkhand, Tamil Nadu. So MG Narega Act says that fund have to be paid within 15 days as per the rule, right? So the material cost include wages of maids and supervisor who are frontline monitors of the scheme. So the delay in material cost have a domino effect on the work, since the delay in the payment breaks the supply chain. Because of prolonged delays in the payments, the vendors are reluctant to supply new materials. So this scheme comes under the Ministry of Rural Development. and ask for the additional funds from the finance ministry to meet the shortfall. So 3 things you need to keep in mind. The abbreviation full form is MGNREGA, is for the unskilled worker. Make sure not for the skilled worker. 1/3 is must be for the women, and how the states are facing the issue. And third is comes under which ministry? Ministry of Rural Development. Now moving further, retailing of the Indian migrant workers' plight. So this year, International Migrant Day that was observed on which date? December 18th. So December 18th must be seen backdrop of unprecedented volatility that began in 2020 as a result of COVID-19 pandemic, the first time the entire world facing the same issue. And beside this infectious disease outbreak, there were events such as Taliban takeover of Afghanistan, Russia invasion of Ukraine, and third thing we can say, that worsening poverty in sub-Sahara region, and also climate change, resulting in a large-scale migration in the entire world. So, according to International Organization of Migration, IOM World Migration Report 2020, World Migration Report 2020. So there are around 280 million international migrants globally in 2020, with nearly 2/3 being labor migrants. So major population, that is, we can say labor, which means we can say they might be unskilled worker and they might be skilled worker, right? So we can say that to promoting this unskilled worker, that gig economy, and for the gig workers, like we can say one who works in informal sector. So how can you define informal sector? Informal sector, which means that as per the ministry data, which is clearly mentioned, one who does not get any social benefit. That is known to be a informal sector. Informal sector, which means that जिसको कोई भी social benefit नहीं मिलती है. Like social benefit, which means PF, health insurance, and we can say third one is ESIC, Employment State Incorporation, Employment State Insurance. So that ESIC card is not available for those person. So we can say, according to International Organization Migration World Migration Report 2020, there are around 280 million international migrants globally in 2020, and with nearly 2/3 being labor migrants, while there are around 160 million labor migrants in 2019. So the larger pool of migrants, South Asia, share nearly 40%. And further, the South Asia Gulf Migratory Corridor is the world's largest migrant corridor. Right. So long-term data on international migration shows that migration is not uniform across the world and shaped by economic, geographic, demographic, and other factors, resulting in distinct migration pattern. So what we exactly need to extract from this article is, we can say that recently there were cases around 300 Indian engineers from Tamil Nadu who were trafficked to Myanmar to work as a crypto scam, and nearly 20 Indian nurses trafficked to the UAE, which is United Arab Emirates, for the fake job offers. So both groups have migrated after a desperate post-COVID-19 job hunt, and according to Kerala government job, 17 million Keralites returned from abroad during the pandemic between June 2020 and June 2021. So we can say in the winter session of Parliament, a document tabled shows that around millions Indian migrants are working for the Cooperation Council for the Arab States and GCC. And though some of the GCC states have passed reforms to safeguard the rights of migrants and to protect them from discrimination, the situation at the grassroots level of different story. So attention needs to be focused on the women migrant workforce, largely limited to the GCC countries and also to Organization for Economic Cooperation, OECD, and development countries to some extent. And interestingly, you need to keep in mind is that Indian nurses and caregivers have been working in the most volatile countries such as Iraq, Syria, Libya, Yemen, Israel, and even remote Papua New Guinea. That is a place for the tribal people is there. So women workers venture to these countries using the service recruiting agencies on account of major domestic problem. Right. So the United Nations Though it is non-binding resolution, Global Compact for Safe, Orderly Migration and Regular Migration recognize the challenges migrant labor faces across the world. And in this context, we can say the government of India is also revisit the policies in the post-pandemic migratory scenario by engaging all the stakeholders and by passing the Immigration Bill 2021. So until unless there is no outcome has to be published by the government of India, we will not discuss in something in very detailed manner that Immigration Bill 2021. Now moving further, focus on Africa at the heart of Global South. So the India to the G20 presidency intend to be remembered that voice of Global South at the heart of which is Africa. Most of the 54 countries of this continent are developing or least developed country that truly represent the South. It is essential to grasp the mood and change in Africa, especially it is an external partnership. This will determine the contribution India can make an advance the Africa agenda. In the context, the outcome of US-Africa leaders summits need a critical examination. So India, we can say equity in Africa is older than, richer than of that of China and US. Now, what did Indians search for in 2020? So the Google search are mostly related to the sports, IPL featuring of top of the list. So first we can say is the chart show that search items by the Indians in 2020, the darker the shade in the higher popularity. The first we can say first is IPL is the number one position. April 17th, April 21st. The IPL was the most searched term in India. So IPL, Indian Premier League, the most search term in India. Second position that we can say COVID. So COVID trained to the people inquired about booster doses and vaccine registration of those aged between 15 to 18 years. The third search third one is FIFA World Cup. So maximum search by the Indians is first one IPL, second one is COVID, and third one is FIFA World Cup. Then we can say fourth one is Asia Cup, fifth one is ICC T20 Cricket World Cup, sixth one is we can say Brahmastra Part 1 Shiva, that is a movie name. So that is searched by the Indian people. So according to Google Trends, the most searched topic in India is 2020 was the Indian Premier League, that is IPL. This was also the most searched term in 2021 and 2020, consequently in 2 years. तो सबसे ज़्यादा लोगों ने सर्च किया वो इंडियंस ने वो IPL को सर्च किया एज पर द गूगल ट्रेंड्स एंड ये डेटा गूगल ने रिलीज़ की जो इंडियंस सबसे ज़्यादा क्या चीज़ों को सर्च किया इन 2020 में. तो फर्स्ट पोजीशन IPL, सेकेंड इज कोविन एंड थर्ड वन इज फीफा. सो ओनली 3 नीड टू रिमेंबर. एंड सबसे लीस्ट जो सर्च किया दैट इज नोन टू बी ISL. So ISL trended during the start and end of the year, and the search interested as mainly seen in the Kerala, Goa, Assam, and West Bengal. Right. So now moving further, this one. What is CAG audit report on Assam's NRC? Just a second. So CAG audit report on Assam NRC, it is compliance report tabled before the assembly, and CAG flagged a host of issues ranging from excess spending and financial regulatory irregularities. And a recent Comptroller and Auditor General CAG, they will got to know what is the constitutional provision to appointment of CAG. Reports to update the NRC National Register of Citizens in Assam has flagged serious irregularities, including has a development of software for the exercise, making it prone to data tampering, and flagged undue profits with crores amassed by the system integrator. So what is the NRC exercise? So NRC that was first created in 1951. NRC that was first created in 1951 in Assam to identify those born in India and migrants from East Pakistan and Bangladesh. In 2013, the Supreme Court issued direction to the center and state to initiate an exercise in Assam to update the 1951 register. As we know, the 1951 is the first election was held in India. So the order was based on petition filed by an NGO named Assam Public Works, then first draft and released in 2018, and the final list published in 2019 as well. So the Indian citizenship being residents or descendants of people living in Assam before 25th March 1971, the cutoff date for the deportation of foreigners as per the Assam Accord of August 1985. So what are the CAG concerned for that? So at that time, the process of update of NRC was started in December 2014 in Modi regime, and with the deadline of completion in February 2015, and the project was pegged at almost, we can say, 288.18 crore. So as for the irregularity, the CAG found that the amount of wages paid for the outsourced staff that was less than, we can say, approved by the NRC. So what are the CAG recommended for? The country top auditor sought penal measure against Wipro Limited for the violating of provision for the Minimum Wages Act and paying data operators less than minimum wages. Now we can say that CAG, if you talk about the Comptroller and Auditor General of India, is an authority established by Article 148 of the Constitution, which audits all receipts and expenditure of Government of India and the state government, and including those of bodies and authorities substantially financed by the government. So that is not confined to the only government of India. That is sometimes like it is also comes under the NGO. If that NGO approved by the Government of India, that comes under the CAG. And the report of CAG are led in Parliament, legislature, and taken to consideration by Public Account Committee and Committee on Public Undertaking, which is special committee in the Parliament of India and state legislature. The CAG is also the head of Indian Audit and Account Department, affairs of which is managed by Office of Indian Audit and Account Services, and has 43,576 employees across the country. And CAG is mentioned in the Constitution of India in Article 148 to 151, which is already enshrined in our Constitution. So CAG is ranked 9th and enjoy the same statue as Judge of Supreme Court of India in Indian Order of Precedence, and the current CAG of India is Rajiv Maharshi, who assumed the office on 25th September 2017, and he is the 13th CAG of India. And how the appointment process of CAG? The CAG of India is appointed by the President of India following a recommendation of the Prime Minister, which is the head of Council of Ministers. On appointment, he or she has to make an oath on affirmation before the President of India. And CAG that can be also removed only on address from both House of Parliament. Both House of Parliament, which means that we can say a Lok Sabha, which is known to be a lower house, and a Rajya Sabha, which is known to be a upper house, on the ground of proved misbehavior or incapacity. And the CAG vacates the office on attaining the age of 65 years or 6-year terms, whichever is earlier, or by impeachment process. India is busy to beat cervical cancer. And what is cervical cancer? So basically that same article we have discussed earlier. So cervical is a vaccine developed by the Serum Institute of India as India's first quadrivalent human papillomavirus vaccine designed to protect women from cervical cancer. What is cervical cancer? Cervical cancer is prevalent sexually transmitted infection. It's a type of cancer that occurs in cells of cervix, the lower part of the uterus that connect to a vagina. And it is most caused by long-term infection, which is particularly low from HPV. And it is the second most prevalent cancer, from second leading cause of cancer death in women and reproductive age of 15 to 44. So if you talk about India perspective, according to the World Health Organization International Agency for Research and on Cancer, India accounts for roughly 1/5 of the global burden, with 1.23 lakhs cases around fatalities every year. So based on VLP virus-like particles similar to the hepatitis B vaccine, and gives protection by producing antibodies against HPV virus L1 protein. So DGCI approval, it would enable to government procure vaccine in bulk to order to vaccine around 50 million girls aged between 9 to 14 years. And the vaccine is extremely effective only when it is administered before first sexual intercourse. And now it's time to questions of the day. Here's the very first question. Many times you have seen the bomb cyclone. The bomb cyclone which was in recently is option A, cyclone that is unpredictably more intense than would typically be anticipated and could have negative effects. A cyclone that is unpredictably more intense that would typically be anticipated and could have negative effect. A powerful tropical cyclone that develops in Atlantic Oceans or the Northeast Pacific Ocean. A storm that develops quickly and occurs when the air pressure decreases by 20 million bars on more than 24 hours period. We have discussed many times about the bomb cyclone, so obvious answer would be D. A bomb cyclone is simply a storm that intensifies very rapidly, and bomb cyclone from when air near Earth's surface rise quickly in the atmosphere, triggering a sudden drop in barometric pressure, which is at least 24 million bars within 24 hours. If we talk about second one, in tropical cyclone, as you move from the edge towards the center, the air pressure, the impact on air pressure, option A remains constant, increases significantly, decreases significantly, and varies depending on the wind speed and direction. So the option would be C. Tropical cyclone is rapidly rotating storm system characterized by a low pressure center. When the low pressure created, that we can see that kind of things is going on. And on Earth, the pressure recorded at the center of the tropical cyclone are among the lowest ever observed at sea level. At the center of mature tropical cyclone, air sinks rather than rises, and for a sufficiently strong storm, air may sink over a layer deep enough to suppress CUET formation, thereby creating a clear eye. So in the air pressure is high, the center and the low at the edges, the anticyclone is formed. The C option would be correct one. Many times that the Nepal controversy is going on. So which of the following Indian states share border with Nepal? So Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Assam. So 1 and 2 only, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So Indian states share border with Nepal. So there is a controversy on Nepal. We have already discussed in newspaper analysis. It's about Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Assam. So as we know, fourth one is not. So C is the right answer. The area of 1,47,181 square kilometer and population 29 million. Nepal shares a border of about 1,850 km with the 5 Indian states. And that 5 Indian states is Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal and Sikkim. So as we can see, here is Uttarakhand, the map, Uttarakhand, and here we can see Uttar Pradesh having border with Nepal, Bihar also, and West Bengal having also border with Nepal, West Bengal and Sikkim. So these all states having border with the Nepal. As we can see clearly in the map that here is the Nepal and here is the Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Uttarakhand also, and here we can see in the map is Uttarakhand. So Uttarakhand also border with the Nepal also, West Bengal also and Sikkim. So all the 5 states having border with the Nepal. So it's almost 1,850. The maximum border India share with which country? So India share maximum boundary with the Bangladesh. India shares maximum boundary. Moving further to the third one. Losar festival is celebrated which of the following states? Gujarat, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, none of the above. Recently it was in news, Losar festival, which is celebrated in which of the following states? So obvious D would be the answer. The PM extended his greeting to the occasion of Losar festival in the beginning of Tibetan New Year. Losar, which means Tibetan New Year. It consists of the offering of prayers, dances and songs in the honor of ibex and pilgrimage of Mount Kailash. Losar is the Tibetan word of New Year. And Ladakhi Buddhists make a religious offering before the deities and domestic shrines on the Gompas. And if you talk about the background story, it was developed in the pre-Buddhist era during the 4th century AD, and the born religious indigenous religious tradition in the Tibet, practices the burning of incense. So when Lord Buddha arrived in Tibet, this ritual was combined with the harvest celebration and the Losar festival was born. So Losar festival was born. So this is all about the session, student, and I hope you enjoyed the session a lot. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section, and how was the class and all. Anything if you related to the class, you can share in the comment section, and please share to your friends and family group, and do not forget to press the bell icon if you are new in this channel, and subscribe the channel as well, and share to your friends and family group, because as you know, current affairs is very important for the irrespective of the student also, and the, we can say aware citizen must know about it. So I hope you enjoyed the session. Stay tuned at 3 p.m. today. Deep dive session that would be taken by me. Thank you so much for joining with us. Bye bye and take care. We'll meet you at 3 p.m. today for the deep dive session. Thank you so much.